But if you hate it, you're just actually a fucking idiot. There's flesh cookies in the remake. He cuts people's skin off, cooks them, and ices and sprinkles them, and there are Christmas cookies made out of people's flesh. And this movie's bad? Like you don't like that movie. You don't like that movie, but you're a horror fan? Spare me. Spare me. Welcome to another thrilling, exciting episode of Dante's Drive-In. I don't know if you've noticed, but this is actually, I guess, the Christmas special of Dante's Drive-In. I was gonna wear these dumb little reindeer ears because they came with this cardigan, this Christmas cardigan, and it's got, you know, little reindeer. Is it a reindeer? Yeah, reindeer, a little gingerbread man. It's got all that, but it came with those, and I put them on, and I'm like, no. So instead, you're getting, you know, the classic Christmas hat look. But fuck, it's hot in this room, because even though it's December, it's like 70 out. Oh, it is a depressing Christmas. I'm terribly sorry. And also, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I tried to make my own eggs today. I don't cook often, if ever, and I made some eggs and they are disagreeing with me. I think I burnt them. I think I used too much butter. I think one of the eggs was undercooked. I'm not sure, but it severely killed my excitement for doing this episode. And initially what this was going to be was your typical hour-ish in length Dante's Drive-In episode, except I was also going to cover all the movies that I saw in the last month and stuff. And I will kind of keep that in my back pocket, or in my front reindeer theme pocket, for if I ever want to do that again, where I like just cover a bunch of movies that I saw all at once. But you know, it's Christmas, and I didn't watch that many Christmas movies. I didn't get around to seeing Advent Calendar. I watched Deadly Games for the first time. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City came out, and that was supposed to be on this episode. And I said last in the November update that, oh, well, the Christmas special will cover that. But then Christmas has rolled around, and look at us now. I haven't seen Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City yet. I'm sorry, this hat, hell or high water, whether I'm sick or whether I watched anything or not, I'm gonna give you a drive-in Christmas special, except this one's gonna be a little bit shorter. So I want you to just kick back, get some snacks. I have some Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes, the ultimate iconic Christmas themed fattening snack. And I was gonna have some of that Mountain Dew holiday brew, or what is it? It's like gingerbread or something, but I tried it and it sucked. So we've got Voodoo 3 hanging around. I didn't have Voodoo on Halloween, and now it's Christmas and I have Voodoo. Unbelievable. I'm so sorry. I dropped the ball in so many ways, but we got Krampus. We got the Four Horsemen Krampus. We got this Funko Pop of Krampus. We've got Billy from Silent Night, Deadly Night missing his hat. We've got this awesome plush Santa, this other plush Santa. You know, there's Christmas. I was gonna dig out my NECA Ultimate Gizmo with the Christmas hat and put it up here, but my tummy hurts. My goddamn tummy hurts. Give me a break. So instead, I'm gonna recommend some Christmas horror films that I like. So Christmas is like almost a better month for horror movies, even better than Halloween. I know that's shocking, but with Halloween, your main go-to for Halloween themed, like horror films set on Halloween, it's Trick or Treat and then any of the Halloween movies. But Christmas, there's like a very large subgenre of incredibly unique films that are Christmas themed, and it's really quite shocking how many there are. So I'm just gonna bring up some of my favorites, and they're probably all ones that you've seen. If you haven't seen them, I highly recommend them, because it's the season of joyful, happy, whatever, so we're gonna be joyful and happy, and I'm only gonna talk about things that I wanna talk about. My first movie that I recommend to you is Krampus. I know they just released like a naughty cut of Krampus, but I didn't see it because I looked into it and they're like,
well, we added, people say fuck sometimes, and it's got like an alternate ending on the bonus feed.
I'm like, then it's worthless, because the thing is, when Krampus first came out, my version of Krampus that was in my head was the version of Krampus that looks like this, that has the birch reeds bundled together, and he goes into people's houses and whips their kids' asses and then drags the kid to the underworld on Christmas. He was Big Goat Man. And we've never gotten a solid Krampus movie, to my knowledge, with a Krampus that's like that. They kind of started to try with that Christmas Horror Story, but A Christmas Horror Story sucked kind of, which is a bummer because I really want to like that movie. It's got its moments, but it's not on this list for a reason, I'll put it that way. But Krampus came out, and I was like, okay, we're getting a big budget Krampus movie. And Michael Dougherty is doing it, the same guy who did Trick or Treat. I love that movie, and I was fully geared and like locked and loaded for just the ultimate Krampus Christmas horror experience. And the movie kind of let me down. I know it was an expectation thing, because the movie itself is honestly fine. And what I didn't realize that it was trying to do at the time that I went into it was it was trying to go for the more like Gremlins vibe, like a Christmas horror film that you can watch with the family. It's like Scrooged or Gremlins, in that like it's a Christmas movie that's about family and togetherness and all that stupid shit, but it's like a little spooky, and it's got a little, if it had a little bit more bite to it, if the characters were actually dying, if there was gore, if there was, you know, more swearing, I guess, if it had a bad ending, I think at the time I would have been way more receptive to it. And also, I wasn't prepared for Krampus to be more of like this puppeteer force that was creating all these crazy Christmas monsters to come after you, and that the family would have to fight them off. I was more expecting it to be Krampus versus a family, not Krampus and his amazing friends versus the family, and that's what it ended up being. However, after rewatches over and over and over again, every Christmas, because I'm like, well, it's Krampus and it's like iconic. It's almost like an instant classic. You go into any Spirit Halloween, you see Krampus shit everywhere. People really took to the movie. Every year I watch it, I like it more, and now I'm at the point where I really like it. I vividly remember most of the characters. There's a lot of characters that you can kind of pick and take their side and hate on other characters, but none of the characters are like irritating enough that it sinks the movie. Some people seem to think that if a character is supposed to be irritating and they're like really irritating, that to the point that you're not having fun, that you're just not understanding it, like you're not getting it. It's like, no, that character is too much. They stress me out, they piss me off, I'm not having fun anymore, I'm gone. You gotta have like a love to hate thing. When it doesn't feel like the filmmaker is in on the fact that this character is so hated you want them to die, you turn on the movie because you know you're not gonna get what you want. So with Krampus though, the characters are irritating, but they're in like a lovable, like, fuck, that reminds me of so many people way. And there's enough characters to root for that you stick with it, and there's also enough cool monsters, Christmas themed monsters. There's gingerbread men, there's, you know, little killer teddy bear guys, there's the angel thing, there's the Jack-in-the-Box, there's the elves, you know, Krampus himself. I really like the creativity that went into all these like practical monsters. Yeah, some of them are CGI, but the idea is still there. And like I said, I'm going to be watching it again this year, and I'm going to probably have fun with it again this year. So, Krampus, I guess, it's a movie that's fine how it is, you know? Like, it's just one of those movies that didn't have to be a masterpiece. And it understood that, and it knew what it needed to be almost more so than I knew what it needed to be. And so I commend them for taking this character that had kind of like been swept up with the internet a few years before it had happened, almost becoming like a creepypasta in a way. And then it had kind of like assumed a life of its own. And so they were gonna make a movie about it because it was a bankable name now, and everyone knew about it now. But then like they knew better than to just do something stupid, like a goat man going around whipping kids' asses. I don't know. Like they knew that version of Krampus, the greeting card Krampus, would not be able to hold an entire movie. Even in Christmas Horror Story, he's like one segment of the movie. So like, knowing that, they changed enough of it to make it fit the narrative of a full movie. And I think that's smart. And while, you know, the movie's not perfect, and I would have liked it to be more, you know, vicious and R-rated, I think it's nice to have one of those movies, again, like Gremlins or Scrooge, that we can watch. You know what else I fucked up? I'm wearing a Silver Shamrock novelty shirt. And I have a Silent Night Deadly Night shirt. I couldn't find the fucking thing. You know I have it. It exists. I've worn it in videos before, and I just... This is the worst Christmas special ever. This is the worst Christmas ever. Damn it. The next film I want to recommend is Black Christmas and its remake, Black Xmas. So many fucking idiots hate Black Xmas, the remake. I'm gonna be, okay, for future reference, when I say Black Xmas, I'm referring to the remake, because that's what it says on the cover. Black Christmas, it's a different movie. But so many fucking idiots hate Black Xmas, because they say it's too different than the original, that it's weird, it misses the point of the original. Because, like, okay, so there's this thing in horror where you have the original classic revered movie, like Black Christmas, is more of like, you don't see anything violent happening on screen, you don't see the killer, you don't say anything about the killer's backstory, you know, it's kind of a mysterious, moody, atmospheric film, okay? Suspense. And when they do a remake years later, it's gorier. There's titties in it. There's ass in it. There's guts and blood. And they give the killer a backstory. And it's scummier. And all of a sudden, all these fucking snobs come out. And they're like,
the original was much superior because it didn't need such grotesque, cheap jump scare.
They point out how it's doing a different thing than the original and then say the original's better because it didn't do those things. Here's the thing. If I wanted to watch the original Black Christmas, I'm gonna take the case for the original Black Christmas, I'm gonna open it, I'm gonna take the disc out, I'm gonna put it in my DVD player, put it closed, and push play, and I'm gonna watch the original Black Christmas. I don't need to see it again. It was great the first time. I loved it the first time. It's perfect the first time. But if I want to watch another horror film set on Christmas with a similar kind of premise to Black Christmas, but I want some more titties and some more blood in it, I'm gonna watch Black Xmas. I love the yellow-skinned killer. I love that he's got a sister. That's an interesting twist that they didn't have in the original. I love that the characters are more fleshed out. Like, seriously, fucking tell me with a straight face that the characters in the original are more exciting or in-depth or what the fuck ever. The remake has better characters, plain and simple. The first one is scarier and has better suspense. The remake has better characters, blood, titties, okay? It's such a scummy, mean-spirited movie, but it's got Christmas oozing out of, like, every fucking orifice. Every room is red and green, flickering lights, reindeers, the nativity scene, snow is like everywhere, icicles, people get killed with icicles. There's more kills in the remake. The killer himself has this crazy backstory, and people say, well, that demystifies the killer. Yeah, dumb fuck. The point is that it's different from the original. And the original is supposed to be this creepy whodunit. I don't know, you never see Billy's face, you just hear his voice over the phone. Is his name even Billy? That's the point of the original. The remake is not gonna do the same thing again, because it's a fucking remake. Like I said, if I wanted to watch the same movie again, I'd watch the original. Do something different with the same concept. Killer upstairs, calling sorority girls downstairs on Christmas and murdering them. I don't subscribe to any fucking argument for why the remake is bad. Because this is a widely hated remake. But if you hate it, you're just actually a fucking idiot. There's flesh cookies in the remake. He cuts people's skin off, cooks them, and ices and sprinkles them, and there are Christmas cookies made out of people's flesh. And this movie's bad? Like, you don't like that movie. You don't like that movie, but you're a horror fan? Spare me. Spare me. The original's great, very scary, very atmospheric, has that Christmas feeling, was super influential to the horror genre as a whole. It's actually came before Halloween, but has all the POV killer shit. I know Peeping Tom, whatever. Black Christmas did it first. Like, refined it and simplified it. It wasn't a camera POV, it was like the killer's point of view. It puts you in the perspective of the killer. The scene in the original where the killer, like, fucking suffocates this woman and, like, has her in a rocking chair and she's rocking back and forth, and it's that, like, fisheye lens. It's haunting, creepy shit. The ending of the original, might be one of the scariest endings to a movie ever. It's chilling stuff. And the remake is so much fun. Like, I got 2 Black Christmas movies. Only 2. It's a shame they didn't make a 3rd one. I've got 2 Black Christmas movies that are both their own thing, that are both so much fun, and I watch both of them every year. That's the kind of remake I want to see. Take the same concept as the original, but do something completely different with it. Put it on its head, flip it over, turn it around, rearrange it. I love that shit. Don't just try and trick me into being the same movie. I'm talking make a fucking different movie with the same concept. But that's not what we get normally, because they just want the name. This movie even had the balls to not have the same name. It's Black Xmas. Like I said, that's what's on the cover. That's what's on the posters. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do that more often. At the risk of running out of Christmas movies to talk about next year, I'm only going to talk about 2 more, but they're my 2 absolute favorite Christmas horror films ever. It's like I said, I'm just feeling sick, so I'm giving you just a little something for Christmas time. But next year I'll go more all out. I'll film outside next year in the fucking snow. Snow doesn't exist anymore. Climate change killed it. I'm gonna make fake snow. Or I'll find an area that kind of looks like snow or that just is cold. I'll film, pinky promise, I'll film outside next year for Dante's Drive-In. If I'm even alive, who knows. If I'm alive next year and Christmas hasn't been killed by the libs, then I will film outside. Have you motherfuckers ever seen Christmas Evil? Christmas Evil is badass. I had no hope for it because people kept telling me like,
you know, like, check it out. It's cool, but like it's kind of slow. It's sort of boring. There's no kills until like the last 30 minutes.
No, incorrect, sir. Christmas Evil almost is better than, I mean, Christmas Evil is almost my favorite. It's just that the one that's at number 1 that I'm going to talk about last, I love so much that I don't think anything will ever beat it. But Christmas Evil, goddamn. Holy goddamn. Basically, the plot of the movie, if you've never seen it, is that there's a guy who's obsessed with Santa Claus because of a traumatic Santa Claus-related incident when he was a child. So he's now, like, deified Santa Claus and, like, worships him. In his house, it's all this, like, weird Santa Claus memorabilia. He's got like Santa stuffed animals and Santa plates and dishes and Santa blankets and Santa sweaters and Santa pajamas and Santa fucking toothpaste. Like everything is Santa. But his house is like, his apartment is really like minimalist. There's nothing else in it except for Santa Claus shit year round. And he works at a toy factory, and when Christmas rolls around, I think he gets like a promotion. I'm gonna have to watch it again this year because I haven't watched it since last year, but I remember the core shit, okay? But he gets like a promotion or something, and it makes him go crazy. And then he becomes Santa Claus, or he dresses up like Santa, and he gets like beard implants to be Santa Claus. He glues a beard on or something. And he goes fucking crazy and starts like stealing presents from his work to take to an orphanage. And they're like, oh, thanks, Santa. Like, that's awesome. Who the fuck are you? Because he's driving around in like a van that he painted reindeer and shit on the side of. And he's like, that's my sleigh. I mean, it's not a huge spoiler because the movie bills itself as a slasher film, but it's really more of a character study, like a psychological horror about this guy who's not okay at all. And it's that you reach him till the breaking point, and then he's like, no, I am Santa Claus now. And he becomes Santa, and he feels it is his duty to not only reward kids who are good, but also punish people who are naughty. Sort of like the movie we're going to talk about next. It's beautifully shot at times. It's very dreamlike. There's a shot where he's walking up this street lined with like lit up Christmas decorations, and it's like this crane shot that's just beautiful to look at as this man's like losing his mind. There's a great chase scene at the end through the snow where the town people have like revolted against him, like they know what's up with him now, and he's like hiding behind a group of kids as they're like pointing guns at their own children. They're like, get the fuck away from him, and he's just like, but I'm Santa Claus. I'm here for all the good little girls and boys. This movie freaked me out. I mean, it was awesome. And you're also like, you feel so bad for him. Like they do such a good job of putting you where he's at that when that breaking point comes, you're like, fuck, you know, if I went through the same shit this guy went through, I might be this crazy. and you relate to him in that way, and in a way you kind of morbidly root for him. And that's what's so awesome. And these are a lot of things that are also present in the next film we're going to talk about, but this is way more of like a psychological character study, and that's more of just a pure slasher movie. But they both have that theme, and I think that's why they're both like my favorites, and they make a great double feature. I would say watch the other one first and then Christmas Evil second, because Christmas Evil is like that nice come down. And when you watch a double feature, I always like for like the slower movie to be second. I do, at least, because it's like crazy wild shit, and then your slower one second to be like your cool off period, because you're going to be kind of exhausted, but you don't want to go in exhausted and then have the movie trying to assault you with shit in the second one to make you wake up. It's more fun to go like ah, oh, instead of oh, you know, you get more enjoyment the other way. That was a little mini rant. A little mini thing about double features. That's how you should do double features. But yeah, Christmas Evil. I don't want to say too much about it because I do really recommend it. You can find it for free, I'm pretty sure, on like Tubi. It's on Shudder. It's kind of a hard movie to find when it comes to physical media. I don't own a copy of the movie, but I always seem to find it on streaming like right around Christmas time. It's also one of John Waters' favorite Christmas movies. I'm pretty sure he owns a print of it. Maybe. I know he loves the movie though. And if John Waters said it was good, it's probably good, guys. Let's talk about our last movie, because my tummy, like, even though it hurts, I'm trying to like power through and be like, nah, it doesn't hurt. I'm gonna talk about Christmas movies. But man, my stomach really hurts and I want to get this over with. Silent Night, Deadly Night is an awesome fucking movie. It's starting to have a resurgence in the way that a lot of people are starting to look at it as genuinely one of the most polished slasher films of the 80s, if not one of the best. I personally think it's top 5. It's definitely top shelf slasher movie in history. It's so incredible. It's so amazing. It works as a Christmas film. It also just works as a slasher movie, but it also works as a huge critique on the Catholic Church. It works as a character study on kind of male trauma and how people sort of deal with that. And it's just really interesting. Unlike most slasher movies of the time even, and now, like there's really not a whole lot like this. This movie exclusively, from the beginning, focuses on the killer. The killer is our protagonist. He is the main character. The antagonist is the nun that abused him as a child. And it's all about his killing spree to get to her. And you're almost 100% on this guy's side, even though he's a crazy man. But something people don't like to admit about slasher movies that this movie, I think, really gets, you're rooting for the killer. Even if it's subconscious, the killer is who's the most entertaining when they're on screen. You don't go pay to see Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween and be like, oh boy, I hope that mean old killer doesn't show up. He's mean. No, you're paying to see them. Don't be a fucking coward, okay? That's what we're here to see. We want to see the killer. This movie gets that so well because there's not a single scene where the killer is not the absolute focus of the film. So it's very quick paced in that respect. There's not a whole lot of waiting around while people are partying or we're giving shitty character development to shitty characters to wait for them to die later. The killer is the focus. It's his story, his experience. That's awesome. It's very violent, but the kills are so simple. This was the time when kills were impactful. They were on screen. They were practical effects. They were simple things like a decapitation, an axe to the chest, a hammer to the skull, impaling someone on antlers. This wasn't like a single kill scene in here is not a whole sequence of things happening to the person. It's more about leading up to the kill, him finding something, and then him killing the person. And because of that, you get to see that kind of like methodical, sadistic hesitation in the killer. And the build-up to getting him to the position of being the killer, like Christmas Evil, is an intense psychological horror character study. And once he finally snaps, like I said, you're on his side. You're not like on his side in the sense that you would do that and you think it's good that he's doing that, but you understand it. You sympathize with him the most out of anyone in the movie. So in a way, you're rooting for him. And you hate the antagonist that much more that if he has to kill a few innocent people to get to her, then that's the price of justice. I mean, a lot has been said about this movie already, but it's my absolute favorite Christmas movie ever. It's my favorite Christmas horror film, and it's, oh boy, do I want to say that? It might be my favorite slasher movie. I'm not sure. It's either way, even if it is, fuck you, it's my favorite slasher movie. It doesn't have to be yours. I'm not saying it's the best, but I am saying it's one of the best. I mean, it's like, if we're just discounting all genre slasher films, it's like My Bloody Valentine, The Burning, Silent Night, Deadly Night. That's a pretty good pocket of solid slasher films that didn't grow into franchises, you know? And there has not been that many good slasher films that were just one-offs in the last few years that were on this level. I think the only one I can think of would be Haunt. Haunt I thought was really solid. I don't know, I think everyone should watch Silent Night, Deadly Night. I have nothing else to say. I'm so sorry. Next year will be better. I promise I'll do better. We'll all do better. That's my New Year's resolution, is to do a better Dante's Drive-In Christmas special.
As of right now, Mr. Graves is still more use to me alive.
Are you planning on this thing when you tell, you know, the big thing, that you're his...
That I'm his what?
That I'm his evil counterpart from a faraway alternate dimension, and I'm going around to other dimensions collecting other Dante Graveses to merge them into one superintelligence to become the apex version of Dante Graves? Tell him that thing? No, I'm not going to tell him quite yet. But he'll know soon enough. As for right now, I still have a pumpkin to play with. Okay, Your Highness, so you had some demands you wanted to make about your costume?
Whoa. Don't get snippy with me. You agreed to hear me out as a reward for getting that stupid pumpkin.
Hey, whoa, the pumpkin is not stupid, okay? And it took you over a year to get the pumpkin anyway.
Well, it's not my fault to keep dying.
It kinda is your fault you keep dying.
Are you gonna listen to me or not?
Yes. What is it? What do you want?
Okay, first thing, the heels, they gotta go.
I like the heels. I think the heels are sexy.
I don't give a flying fuck if you think they're sexy. They hurt my feet. It's not like these monsters are out here running on hardwood floors. Most of the time, I'm in the woods. If I'm gonna be doing kung fu and all this fucking crazy shit, I need to be able to walk.
Okay, fine.
Okay, condition number 2. I need to change my panties.
Did you have an accident?
No, I did not. My tactical underpants, the thong.
I don't see what the problem is. I thought we both agreed the thong was sexy.
For fuck's sake, I'm hunting monsters in a costume of bright-colored spandex.
Excuse me. It's tactically enhanced spandex-like material, okay? I worked hard on it.
Whatever, I'm wearing 2 pairs of panties, one on the inside of my pants and on the outside of my pants.
Okay, and?
You try wearing 2 thongs while fighting monsters and doing kung fu and getting into gunfights, okay? It's not comfortable. You chafe.
Okay, well, the extra thong gives you more mobility when running, and it also gives you an extra layer of armor.
More like extra layer of wedgie. Look, the heels won't let me kick ass, and the permanent wedgie is kicking my own ass. I'm switching to briefs.
All right, fine. Is there anything else?
One more thing.
Ah, fuck!
I want to be warmer during the winter.
I haven't designed any Arco Iris winter attire.
Well, I'm fine like this, aren't I?
Well, you look normal. You're supposed to be representing the glory of the Sinister Syndicate.
Well, you and I will know that I'm representing the glory of the Syndicate or whatever, but no one else needs to know when I'm not working.
All right, so let me get this straight. No more heels, no more thong, and you want to dress like a fucking nerd, is that it?
Yeah, I think that about covers it.
Okay, fine, whatever. It's fucking fine. Well, I'd say that about covers it.
Wait, aren't you gonna... have me go fight some crazy monster or something?
You got the pumpkin finally. I have a lot of work to do. I'd say you've earned a short holiday break.
Merry Christmas, Slime.
New episode of the Dante Graves Show will be available in January. It's taking me a while. I'm sorry. New episode of Dante's Drive-In. I'm gonna keep doing them monthly. So if the month is getting low and there's not a Dante's Drive-In, keep your eyes peeled because it's coming. I don't know. I don't have an exact time because I kind of just do them when I have the energy to do them. Next month though, I'm gonna try and do something about Scream. I think Scream 5's coming out. Maybe I'll do like all the Scream movies. I don't want to keep doing just new movies, but Scream 5 is like important, so we'll do that. But new episode of Dante Graves Show proper will also be available in January. I'm skipping December. Nothing spooky happened in December, but also I was really burnt out last December doing all the Yuletide stuff. So that's your Christmas special. If you want to watch Yuletide, watch Yuletide. It still is here. Speaking of which, an audio commentary track for Yuletide is going to be out this year. So you had to wait a whole year to hear my thoughts on that project, but it's coming. So that means new episode of Dante Graves Show, January. New episode of Dante's Drive-In, January. New episode of Dante's audio commentary tracks for Yuletide. It's a one episode season. It's a one and done. Is that enough content? Do you want to see more content? Let me know. I want to talk about stuff. I don't. Especially not when my tummy hurts. I burnt the fuck out of those eggs. Like, I don't know. You can burn butter, which is something I learned recently. I thought butter was like water. Like, you can't burn it. It's just butter. It is. But no, you can burn butter. The butter was turning like brown, and my eggs turned like black. I was like, fuck. But I still had to eat them. And that is the price we pay